Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, Goldman Sachs analyst slides suggest now is a good time to be buying Bitcoin. Investment management bank Goldman Sachs, that has a revenue of close to $40 billion, recently released a report talking about Bitcoin and why any dip that we experience right now should actually be a very good time to be getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies rather than getting out, because they expect that we're going to see a rally as high as $13,971. We're going to be diving on into this article a little bit later and what the implications of a major company like Goldman Sachs, a major investment bank like Goldman Sachs, saying these things about Bitcoin is. But before we dive into that, there's also some Bitcoin technical analysis that we have to do, because as you guys can see, if you're watching yesterday's live stream, we were talking about this consolidation pattern, and I was discussing about how I was hoping this would break bullish, but I was leaning just a little bit more bearish, guys. You're asking me for my honest opinion, and Bitcoin has actually gone ahead and broke bearish here. We didn't go very far. We only retraced around $11,200, but we do need to talk about this because Bitcoin is at a very important decision point. From there, guys, we're also going to be talking about the SEC, because the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States has delayed its decision on 3 Bitcoin ETFs. You guys know that they love doing this, and they've done it once again. So we'll be diving into that a little bit later on in today's video. But if you guys do enjoy today's video, I would ask you to go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We do daily cryptocurrency technical analysis and news updates. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be joining the notification squad and be updated every single time a new video goes live. So guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. The first thing we need to talk about, of course, is this consolidation pattern here, and why this short-term consolidation pattern on the 15-minute chart could end up having very long-term ramifications. We talked about this kind of thing in yesterday's live stream, but I want to discuss it here because this is really important. This consolidation pattern breaking bearish could become a domino pattern that could lead to a much longer-term downtrend forming. As we can see here, Bitcoin has broken bearish around 2,300 hours. That's around 11 o'clock last night, just after I stopped live streaming, or a couple hours after that. In fact, we did break bearish, and that's following another bearish break back over here on the 10th of August. And the reason that that's important, guys, is because Bitcoin has been in this uptrend from $9,400 for several weeks here, and if Bitcoin does actually fall over and start creating new lower lows, because right now we've kind of just been reestablishing the same low of $11,200. If Bitcoin does that and starts moving to the downside again, that could be very bad, because there's a lot of levels of support just below us that Bitcoin must stay above. It's very important that Bitcoin stays above these. I'll go ahead and show you exactly what they are. We have several of them on the 4-hourly chart. Someone in the live stream last night pointed out a very, very crucial moving average that we need to look at here. That would be the 200 moving average, the 200 exponential moving average here on the 4-hourly chart. I wanted to show you guys this because this isn't something I've been using much, but this is very, very strong. As you can see here, we're not far away from this. This is trading at around $10,800. We did fall below it back over here, but during this uptrend, Bitcoin got some very, very sexy levels of support on here, guys. Look at how well Bitcoin defined its support based on this moving average right here. Even going back as far as this part of April and going back into March, Bitcoin was getting some perfect support here on the 4-hourly 200 exponential moving average. This is a moving average that I very much do not want to see Bitcoin go below. But if Bitcoin were to go below this moving average, it wouldn't be the end of the world. As you can see, Bitcoin has gone below this one. That's not really the moving average that's concerning me. The one that's concerning me is out on the daily chart, because as you guys can see, Bitcoin is currently testing the 50 moving averages support. Kind of the little zone that surrounds these moving averages is where Bitcoin is right now. And should Bitcoin break below this, that's not necessarily unhealthy. In fact, I'd say that might be pretty healthy for the market to finally shake out the last bears. But the moving average that does concern me is the 100 simple moving average, this gray line right here. And the reason that concerns me, guys, is because if we look back in history here, that has been a very important moving average throughout bull markets in Bitcoin's history. As we can see over here, I want to show you guys, during bull markets, Bitcoin would almost always come back to this moving average right here. I remember when this market was developing, I was watching this. This was my first correction in Bitcoin. Bitcoin came back and we called the bottom at $3,000, between $3,000 to $3,300. I've been in the market for a month and I called this bottom because Bitcoin had a bottom near the 100 moving average. That's where Bitcoin would always go to. Right there it happened. Right over here it happened. If we continue scrolling back, it happened right over here. Right over here. You keep going back, Bitcoin got a little bit of support here. We got some resistance here and a longer term pullback. Point is, that's a very important moving average. One that we most certainly do not want to see Bitcoin go below, because honestly, if you look back on the 2017 bull market, if Bitcoin goes below the 100 moving average, you would think that would indicate that the bull market itself would be over. So that's why I'm keeping such a close eye on the 100 moving average. And also one more I'm keeping an eye on is the 20 weekly exponential moving average. That's sitting here around $9,000. And if we look back on the history of Bitcoin, you'll also see that Bitcoin almost never went below this moving average during the entirety of the Bitcoin bull market. I mean, it just basically never happened. Over here, we got support all the way on up throughout 2015, all the way to the end of 2017. Bitcoin was getting support there. That moving average is fast approaching Bitcoin, and we do not want to see Bitcoin go below that. That's why the bottom that I'm looking for before is around $9,000, and that just so happens to be the same bottom that Goldman Sachs is looking at, so long as it doesn't retrace further than the $9,084 level. We're looking at the exact same level, both me and a $40 billion a year revenue investment bank, guys. That's a very important level. $9,000 is the crucial level. So to tie this all up in a bow, the reason that we're at a crucial decision point right now is because Bitcoin is showing signs of bearish strength. It's showing signs that it wants to go lower because we keep having these bearish breakouts. And if that continues to happen, that could cause us to be driven all the way down to close to $9,000. Should we go down there, guys? This is a big if, but I'll say it. If we go much lower than $9,000, that's going to be a very, very bad thing. That could cause a little mini bear market for like 6 months, guys. That could be bad. So there's a chain reaction of events that I'm kind of concerned about happening. I'm concerned about this 200 exponential moving average out here on the 4-hourly chart being broken. As you can see right here, we see something like that break. Perhaps that kind of bearish strength pushes us lower. We come down here, we break the 100 simple moving averages right here, and then we come down a little bit lower and we break the 20 weekly exponential moving average right there. If that kind of thing happens, we're in for bad news. Now, with all that said, I do also want to make clear that that is just one scenario, and there are plenty of bullish scenarios. There are plenty of reasons to be bullish on this market. I mean, one of them has to do with Goldman Sachs itself coming in here and talking about being bullish on Bitcoin. But the fact remains is that we are above critical support. We need to make sure Bitcoin bounces here. It's very important that over the next month or two, Bitcoin continues to move to the upside. We can't consolidate and trade sideways forever. It just wouldn't be healthy for the market. Now, to wrap the technical analysis up, there is about one more thing that I want to say to kind of counter what I've been talking about in this video, to give you guys both sides of the story. And that is, after the 2015 bull market started, that would become the 2016-17 bull market. When Bitcoin had its massive rally to start with, we had a big pullback, a rally, and then we just kind of traded sideways for all of about 6 months, guys. This lasted for a while. All of this in here, we traded sideways, and some of those moving averages that we're talking about Bitcoin not needing to go below, it actually went below for a little bit here. With the 100 moving average, we went below it for a little bit. For a time here, we did, and Bitcoin traded sideways. It wasn't the end of the bull market. In fact, a lot more bullishness was to come. It was just longer term consolidation. So the couple of bearish scenarios that we could see would be either like an end of the bear market. I'm not calling for that. I want to make myself very clear. Or just a lot of sideways price action here throughout the rest of the year. Anyway, guys, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive on into some news, because as you can see, the SEC has postponed its decision on 3 Bitcoin ETF rule change proposals. Several of the decisions on these Bitcoin ETFs have been delayed many times. We're going to be reading on into this. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, has delayed its decision on 3 Bitcoin ETF proposals. According to documents published on August the 12th, the SEC will put off a formal decision on proposal rule changes by NYSE, ARCA, and CBOE BZX Exchange for 3 Bitcoin ETF proposals by asset managers VanEck Solidex. That's the one that we've been watching here on the channel for over a year. Bitwise Asset Management and Wilshire Phoenix. If you guys don't know, there is a certain method by which the SEC has to postpone these decisions on Bitcoin ETFs, or they have to just go ahead and deny them or approve them. That's one thing that happened a lot back in 2018. We saw a lot of ETFs coming through. We were hoping that several of them would get passed, and that would help to revitalize Bitcoin and bring in the bull market. But the SEC can delay these in chunks of 45 days. They can do that 3 times, and by the end of that, they have to go ahead and make a decision. So hopefully they're going to make that decision, because right now the deadlines have been pushed off into mid-October for all of these ETFs. Last December, SEC's crypto mom, Hester Pierce, I love that name by the way, told investors not to hold their breath when it came to waiting for a Bitcoin ETF. She then stated, definitely possible that it could take 20 years from now, or it could be tomorrow. Don't hold your breath. The SEC took a long time to establish FinHub. It might take even longer to approve an exchange-traded product for cryptocurrencies. And guys, she's absolutely right. I don't really want to get your hopes up and think that a Bitcoin ETF, just because those deadlines are coming up, is going to be passed. As far as I'm aware, they can still delay these ETFs, or at least the VanEck one, at least one more time, because the VanEck one was submitted earlier this year, and they normally have, it's nearly almost a year that they can delay it before they can just deny it. So just because those deadlines are now in October does not mean that they're going to give us a decision by October, because they can delay it 3 times, not just once. An ETF is something that I would really like to see in the cryptocurrency space. It'd be an institutional on-ramp for people that are already in traditional finance markets. It'd be a very big deal for those kind of people to start coming into the cryptocurrency markets, but I'm not, like Hester Pierce said, going to hold my breath over it. It's not something that has any kind of guarantee. Moving on here, guys, this news story is going to wrap us up for today. Goldman Sachs analyst slide suggests now a good time to be buying Bitcoin. This is really interesting. Like I said, guys, Goldman Sachs is a $40 billion a year revenue. They have hundreds of billions of dollars under management. Very, very large investment bank, and they've just started talking about Bitcoin. I'm really excited about this. Market intel from Goldman Sachs suggests investors should capitalize on the current price dip and buy Bitcoin. In a series of slides prepared by technical analyst team and sent out to some institutional clients, Goldman Sachs included included one that said the short-term target for Bitcoin is $13,971, and that investors should consider buying Bitcoin on any dips in the current scenario. The investment bank said that based on Elliott wave analysis, Bitcoin would find support around $11,000 and that there's a scope for a move higher to 12.9 then 13.9. Any such retracements from 12.9 to 13.9 should be viewed as an opportunity to buy on weakness as long as it doesn't retrace further than the $9,000 low. And that's the exact low we were just talking about, guys. That's why I wanted to bring this all up in the same video, because that low that we were discussing, the one with that moving average out here on the weekly chart, I'll go ahead and show you again. That's a very important one. Let's go back to the weekly chart. If Bitcoin falls below this, then yeah, I would be completely disagreeing with everything Goldman Sachs says. But so long as Bitcoin stays above those previous lows, those recent lows, I'm still feeling pretty bullish on the market. In the longer term, I still think we're going to have some kind of uptrend, but we need to see what happens here over these next couple of weeks, because I'm not feeling bullish on the shorter term time frames. It's on the longer term time frames that I'm feeling bullish. While this technical analysis seems bullish, Goldman Sachs former CEO and chairman has previously said Bitcoin just isn't his thing. Lloyd Blankfein also said in an interview last June that Bitcoin is not for me. I don't do it. I don't own Bitcoin. He retired at the end of last year. So the point is, guys, the old CEO who didn't like Bitcoin is no longer there, and this technical analysis team anyway seems to be liking the look of Bitcoin right now. So guys, we'll have to see what comes to pass there. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think about Bitcoin, and what do you think Bitcoin is going to do here over these next couple of weeks. Do you think Bitcoin is going to have a reinvigorated rally, and do you think Bitcoin is going to move higher from here, or do you think Bitcoin is going to use these two bearish crashes to cause a further downtrend and slide even further and show more weakness? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say on that topic, so go ahead and tell me in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure you smash that like button. It really helps out the channel when you do that, and I would be very appreciative if you did it. We can help spread the gospel of Bitcoin far and wide to all corners of the earth. And also, guys, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's that little red button down below, and the notification bell, so you'll be updated every single time a new video goes out. But anyway, guys, I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching today's video, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.